Hey guys, just chatting. I didn't know what to do for this afternoon. I just uninstalled Bard's Tale trilogy because, frankly, I wasn't gonna finish it. I mean, I literally was like, "Do I really want to keep playing this game?" And the answer to that was no, nope, no, I wasn't gonna do that. So there's that. So I just wanted to have something out here you know, chat a little bit for anybody who wants to jump in and talk. I know this week has been well. I haven't really streamed this week. I apologize for that. I feel like I should apologize because I have a schedule and I should keep it. There were no streams on Monday, no streams on Tuesday. Wednesday there was a stream. Then on Thursday I streamed in the morning, and I didn't stream in the afternoon. Um, yeah, that wasn't optimal, and so I apologize for that. It's all on me. It's it's a thing that happened, you know. Um, you know, mm, don't know, don't know what I'm gonna do for the next week. I mean, we're gonna have games. We're gonna go back to streaming, definitely. But don't know. I'm probably gonna do a filler game of some sort. Some XCOM, Stardew Valley. Actually, I just ditched Stardew Valley. I'm gonna do Dragon Age Inquisition, which is also one of my filler games now, because I just like playing it and talking while playing it. Um, the on Tuesday there won't be no streams. Real life again. It was all, oh, we need to go to this place and all that, and family obligations and all that. So no stream on Tuesday, which is bad. I know. You can't. You got to sustain the channel. You got to do the work. But if you're not there, if I'm not here, then there's no streaming. Nothing gets done. So again, I have to apologize. It's tough, but beyond my control, right? I may go back a little bit to streaming at night and on the weekends, just to sort of fill in the backlog. I probably keep the regular, if I ever can, I keep the morning afternoon schedule as much as possible. For people who don't know, on my schedules, I stream at 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock Atlantic, which right now it's 7 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoons Eastern U.S. That's what I do. So yeah, that's a thing that I'm doing right now. Um, and that's how I do it. I do it afternoons and evenings, but well, that wasn't working for me, and so I had to change. And we find ourselves right now in this current situation where, well, here we are. Um, so if you guys have any comments, any ideas, anything you want to share, you're more than welcome. Um, Also, talking about upcoming streams. I will be Iona. People who have been watching the streams over at RP Glory's channel of Our Fallen Stars, she is going to be running um, a short campaign. I don't know how long. I hope it's longer than that. About Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Basically, it's going to be, ironically enough, and I say ironically, considering all the complaints I had about the Bard's Tale trilogy master game that I was playing, it's going to be basically dungeons upon dungeons, right? But the RP glory, ooh, got a little blurry there. To refocus the camera. Um, the situation is that we're going to. Sorry, I think my chair's a little low too. There we are. Hopefully, and I know, I need to shave as well. The situation is going to be that I'm going to be part of that crew again, and I'm going to be playing in. Oh, let me just check this because I connect something here. There we go. You're probably going to hear it in a moment. I'm going to be playing a goblin assassin called Natok. And Natak is a neutral evil. I never actually played an evil character before, and this is going to be quite a bit of a challenge. I have some strong ideas of how to make it work without being disruptive, you know, i.e., not talk or talk the little shit. Um, if you want to know more about Natak and his backstory, I can point you to a short story, which is a bit not safe for work, but I like it. Sort of a flash fiction that I did as a background to the character. I'm gonna direct you to the post at hand. Here we are. And I'm gonna put that in the link in a moment. Also, I forgot that I didn't activate my chatbot, and I am suffering from the stupids, I suppose. But really, I think it's been this week has been a combination of computer problems. My computer last summer suffered from extensive heat, and I think it's now paying dividends. Well, actually, not. It's showing its results. So I should take it to the shop and have it checked out. But in lieu of buying a completely new computer, which I cannot afford right now, sorry. Just it is what it is. So at least not a streaming machine, a gaming and streaming machine. So here's the link. Like I said, it's a bit not safe for work. I'm supposed to. Interesting. Thought that maybe we're gonna. Where's my chatbot? Yes, chatbot. Will you please load? That would be so kind, and hopefully it doesn't crash the computer. So yeah, that's the thing that's happening right now. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Um, um, I have a few drop frames here and there, but it doesn't seem to be loading for some reason. It doesn't matter. I can always put it here in this chat box right here. Here we are. That's a link to NetTalk's little background. Probably, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna check. It's gonna start this Monday. So, and I know. There's a schedule button. I should use it. Monday morning game, afternoon either game stream or D&D over RP Glories. Tuesday no stream. Wednesday stream game, and then afternoon is going to be the podcast unless something happens. Thursday it's going to be very interesting because Thursday is when Ace Combat 7 drops for the PC. It's already being out for consoles, and you've probably seen it on YouTube and here on stream. So I'm going to be a little late, but that's fine. I don't care. And if there's no major hiccups, I'll be starting that. I'm going to play that as long as possible and then come back. Now, I also want to talk about a little bit about, difficulty for a second. Because I really want to, just... yeah, it seems that there might be a bit. That's just the bot's just running a test. I was playing Barstow, and basically I was about to finish the game, but I was like, do I really want to finish the game? Do I really want to keep banging my head against the wall with this? And I decided that no, I didn't want to play it anymore. It's old school. It's really old school, and it's one of the things that thank God for newer games, I suppose, right? You don't necessarily want to go back to the well necessarily with games that are not enjoyable. I mean, at first it was like, oh wow, this is an old school game, and look, I'm going through the cities, and it kind of reminded me of the Gold Box games and all that. Yeah, and I'm fighting these monsters. Oh, how funny! I got a total party kill, TPK, But then it was like, yeah, this game is repetitive in ways that I wasn't, and grindy in ways that I wasn't enjoying, right? There's a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff in this in games like Barca that by today's standards would be unacceptable, like maze-like dungeons. The fact that if you're first of all you're forced to exit the dungeon to heal or revive your characters and then come back again and do it back and forth, but then every time you do so, all the traps and all the monsters reset. So, and in many cases, you have to go through specific areas, and so you always have to have an encounter. You have the ability to run away, but not so. And there's some monsters like the dragons, and dragons don't show up as like a dragon, right? It's just 5 dragons, 6 dragons, and they have breath weapons. And essentially, you don't have any items to protect you against the breath weapons, so it's like the only protection you have is hopefully you have enough hit points to tank the damage, and then cast a spell if you have the points to heal your party and go back and survive. And but then that means that you used a lot of your magic points, so you have to go out again. And there's anti-magic areas, there's darkness areas. It's very much like if you were playing first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons with somebody a killer GM. That's how it would go. And that was fine back then, right? Oh, I messed up my hair. Also had a haircut too. But I don't think that's acceptable today, right? It seems difficult for difficulty set, and also I think today it would be accused of padding the runtime. Oh, we are padding the runtime. Hey, this game is actually about 3 hours long, but I spent an entire week playing it because I had to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that to me reminds me a little bit of the fact that how can I say this? The fact that difficulty, even in modern games, is such a and RNG and all that. It's a very strange thing because. And we talked about this in an earlier podcast last year, but I think I want to talk about because difficulty now finds itself in a sort of hybrid situation. A lot of factors that when people talk about difficulty, they're talking about a couple of things, and one of them, of course, it's the intersection of challenge / fairness, accessibility, and a term that I think it's becoming or is being misused, quote unquote, gatekeeping, right? And within gatekeeping is a concept of game quality, really, and taste, and what is and isn't content. So I'm going to just talk about that for a little bit, if you allow me to. I mean, after my stream, I can do that. First of all, I think challenge fairness, right? There's some people who say, and that's sort of connected to the last point, well, challenging, a game being challenging is that's not something that should even be considered, right? It's not, having a challenge is not, a game is not defined by its challenge. Individual games can be defined by their challenge, like old school CRPGs or the Dark Souls series or whatever, or XCOM 2, what have you. But it's not necessary to make a game. And we start getting into that area of, well, what is in a game, right? To me, I don't remember any game where I go like, oh, this game is too easy, I need to up the challenge. I don't. I almost always play on normal difficulty at least once, and then I go back and maybe cheat or something like that if I just want to enjoy the big basic gameplay loop and the story as well. I may mod the game like in Skyrim or some other games. I want to see more content, etc., or different things. But the first time around is like average challenge because I think it's a well-crafted game, and we're going to talk more about that. A well-crafted game is one that one that is sorry, I get the hiccups. Well balanced, and so the normal or average difficulty should be well balanced, right? If it isn't, either it's too hard or too easy, then it's bad game design. Well, I'm going to say right there. I'm going to say that a lot, but there you go. Fairness, I think, is also again what is fair or isn't fair. Oh, the computer's a cheating bastard. That's an old trope. Still true. I find that Bardsdale and games like that were never really fair because the idea of fairness just wasn't a thing. They were supposed to be challenging, right? They're video games and they're supposed to be challenging, supposed to be hard, and it's all about overcoming challenges, right? Doing the puzzles, doing the things, surviving against the odds, and also the limitations of the stuff. I mean, if you think about it, at least the first Bardsdale game, it's pretty simple. It's you go around and it's just you clicking on options, right? There's no, uh, if you hear cars in the background, I apologize. That's just in parking lot. There is, there's no balance. There's no real attempt at. There's some attempt at balance via vis-a-vis challenge, right? But it's very wild. I mean, one moment you can face a one or two creatures, where there's a lot of RNG, right? A lot of random encounters. You can be around the town and face like a single nomad, and you're like, yeah, we're all level 15, 16, and I guess we can run away, but we're gonna kill it, cause in the gold, whatever. And then you enter a dungeon, and the friends count is like 6 conjurers, 15 wizards, 29 samurai, and 15 dragons. You're like, yeah, I'm dead. And you got an option to run away, but you don't, right? And dying and getting killed and doing that was part of the formula, right? Today, that's not the case. I mean, I was thinking about playing a little bit of Dragon Age Origins, or not Dragon Age Origins, but Dragon Age Inquisition, and I don't remember the last time, except for a few fights, like the dragon fights, where I actually died, where I actually failed. It's so rare, right? They're challenging and I have to run away sometimes, but that rarely happens. I still find it enjoyable and engaging, right? But it's comparatively very easy game, absurdly easy compared to, and there's more chances of balance. And I could bump up the difficulty. I just don't want to, right? And there's nothing about difficulty challenge that I'm against. I'm not against somebody playing in easy mode. It's like, okay, you want to play in easy mode? Play in easy mode. Maybe my contention is why you play in easy modes, right? And then now we go to accessibility. And I think, especially when we talk about people with different, problems, accessibility, basically physical and even mental handicaps, then I think the designers should, if I was a designer, I would try very hard to go above and beyond to make this game accessible to them. And by accessible, I mean basically making it even field, right? And that whether it's easier mode or toggling things like, colorblind mode or all those things, which are now becoming more popular, increasing the FOV, the field of view, different or non-conventional control schemes, or even having new controllers that can be played differently, are easy on the hands and stuff like that. I'm all for that because you should be able. The game should be at least accessible enough, right, to everyone. In essence, they're allowing folks to engage with the game on the game's own terms, right? Because you're removing these barriers to the game. And then it will be all about skill and engagement and interest and enjoyment, if you can, or fun, if you want to talk about that. It's all about what the game offers. I see accessibility as sort of removing the barriers to the game, to actually engaging with the game, which I'm all for. But there's one thing, and I guess I talked in the podcast again, I'm repeating myself. There's another aspect of that which sort of rubs me the wrong way every single time that I hear it. And I've heard a phrase about it in different terms about a couple of years. Started with a joke by an Irish comedian, and which I forgot his name right now. And it's sort of become a sort of more popular trope. Is that difficulty is it's a form of gatekeeping the content. That this difficult fight or situation is gatekeeping an aspect. And I'm like, For the love of God, I don't understand. I do not understand what that means. Um, I don't, that I do. And in order for me to understand, I have to sort of switch gears and go like, "Oh, that's what you mean." And I apologize if it seems like I'm strawmanning people, but this actually goes to the conversations I've had online with people. Like, "Oh, what? No, that's not what." Okay. Essentially, it's the not ye. It was written with a Y, but it's actually the old arguments about storytelling and video games being a storytelling platform. Essentially, the argument is that the real content is the narrative content. And that this gameplay thing, this sort of these fights and jumps and puzzles and navigation and driving and flying and exploration and discovery and construction and destruction and all the kinds of form of mechanics, usually combat mechanics, which, that's the whole combat binary thing, get in the way. And it's a form of gatekeeping because I want to see the story, and we should sort of minimize or remove gameplay to make that more accessible. I think you know what my answer to that is. It's like, how about no? Because it doesn't make any sense. It's basically saying there's only one type of valid content, and that is the narrative content. Because, quote unquote, I play for the story. And that actually, ironically enough, the playing in that sentence is inconsequential or at least secondary. That's why increasingly you have quote unquote story modes, which are literally written like, well, if you really wanted the story, what we're gonna do, we're gonna minimize the gameplay to the point where it's ineffectual. And like, but that doesn't. I mean, to say that. The thing about it is that, and I'm a big believer of this, gameplay is the thing. I mean, it's literally in the name of the term, video game. Now, different games have different difficulties, and you can play at any difficulty you want, and should be able, and that should be available. And I think more difficulty modes, both easier and harder, and more to the point, I like to see more customizable modes. Like when I was playing Kingmaker, one of the little things I did always clicked on was the idea that if one of my party members was still around or was still alive at the end of the fight, all my party members would come back to life, right? Origin style, that Dragon Age Origin style. That makes it easier because otherwise I would have to have spells or abilities. So I have to go back, like in Baldur's Gate, go back to a town or a village, whatever, revive my players, or go back to an earlier save, save scumming, and try to do it all over again. It's more of an anti-frustration measure than anything else, but it certainly makes the game easier. And that, the stakes are lowered just a bit, but enough. That's customizable. I actually like that, and I'm all for it as well, to customize your experience. But I'm still doing the thing that the game wants me to do, and the thing that the game asks me to do should be engaging and entertaining. The moment that stops being engaging, if not entertaining, it's when I don't play the game, regardless of difficulty. Because you can have a very easy game, and it can turn out very boring too. It's like you can have the opposite. It was like, this game is too hard, Bard's-Tale, or in some parts of I was playing the DLC of Dragon Age Inquisition, it was like, yeah, this is too easy, too boring, right? Happens to me a lot in Skyrim, where after I level up my character, level 50 or so, I can take on most monsters very easily. Oh, dragon shows up. Boom, 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 boom. Dead. Soul up the soul. Here we go. Next, right? And it's gone, right? The difficulty is gone. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll start over again because, I want to go back to that earlier time where I was leveling up and having a challenge. That seems more attractive to me. And so that can also happen. But that's a condition of engagement or lack thereof, or loss of engagement or retention of engagement, rather than gatekeeping, rather than being in the way, right? Um, and but it is in another way a form of gatekeeping, in the sense that one of the answers to this is like, well, if you just want to see the story, right? I apologize, my shirt is sort of tucked in. Well, watch a YouTube compilation. It's like, how dare you? Oh, you're a you're a gatekeeper person. You PC gaming elitist. I was like, no, I want as much people to play the game, but you can't. You're not doing anybody a favor. Certainly, you're not doing the medium in general, a favor if you know you take the game out of the video game. It's like I always said this, and it's a perfect. I think for me, perfect example, personal example. Again, first of all, I'm being actually being accused of being hardcore gamers with a Z or Z, whatever. I'm Puerto Rican, so either one goes. Hardcore gamers with a Z or an X or whatever you want to put it. Extreme gamers. Like, no, I never play games on hard. I never do. I just don't. In fact, look at all the games I quit. I just quit Barstool because it was like, yeah, not for me. Yeah, it got tiresome, right? I mean, I also quit Diablo, for example. That was because it was just so repetitive. It was like, you know, it's there for the 360. I'm like, I don't know. Yet other games that have, I mean, it's such a variable thing, right? Variable thing. It's that it's not. It's also easy to put into words. But one, it's again, the example I was going to, let's say you have a puzzle platform. I'm lousy at puzzles. I suck at them. Anytime there's a clear puzzle, the first thing I do, and you see me doing this on the channel, I go, and Google, what's the answer to this? Okay, boom, I'm done it. That's it. I don't even bother engaging with the puzzle. Either that or it's brute force, trial and error until I get it. It's like, try everything, okay, it's done, right? I don't even think about it because puzzles, it's a thing, right? It's like, and maybe an easier mode would be that I get hints for the puzzles, right? Or maybe I can, like in Andromeda, for example, you can buy a solution. Oh, that's okay. I mean, you still have to, get the money and all that, so you have to earn and you have to do something to solve the puzzle. Just a different way of doing it. And the puzzles would have been. It would have been more, I suppose, engaging if they were different and they were not essentially the same puzzle over and over and over again, right? But I would never say, "Oh, this is gatekeeping me from the rest of the content." It's just part of the game, right? It's a decision the game designers made, and away you go, right? So the puzzle platformer is, right. I suck at puzzles. Could we not have puzzles in this game? And if we were designing, we're like, what? What? Yeah. No, I mean, I'm all for platforming. It's fun platforming. We can do platforming, but the puzzle thing, no, I don't think so. And then the designer's going like, come again? Like, yeah. I mean, I suck at puzzles. I just don't want them. Could we have like a erase puzzle or self-solving puzzle button option here? And I think again the answer for most designers would be, let me get this straight. You want me to take the puzzles out of the puzzle platformer? Like, yeah, let's do that. And it's like, no. Which leads me to yet again. It seems also like gatekeeping, but it isn't. And that is, well, two things. Well, we'll go for the first, which is also gatekeeping. This game is not for you. Because, surprise, surprise, not every single game is for everyone, right? There's a lot of people out there who would play hardcore, old school games like the Barstool, and there's a market for it. That's where that in Exile Entertainment remastered the 3 of the games. And they're loving it. It's like, yeah, it's hard. Oh, people are so pansies because they're playing some easy games, and now I'm playing this, and this is awesome. This is what I want. It was like, okay, cool, good for you. It's part of the game. Okay, I accept it. But it wasn't for me. I got tired of it. I left it. It's like, nah. But, yeah. you. It's happened with XCOM 2, right? XCOM 2 probably it's not that hard, but it felt to me overwhelming, and I was like, yeah, I'm overwhelmed. I can't. No, I can't. No, I'm done. No, not. It's not engaging me. I feel like I'm in constant panic mode, and this is no doesn't feel right. I'm bailing. It's not me, right? It's not a game for me. The original, well, not the original. Well, if I would go back to the original, that game, ooh, that game, I probably quit in 5 minutes. They're like, whoa, that game was horrible. I don't know how I finished that game. Also, I don't have like a summer to finish a game, right? Especially when I'm streaming, right? There's a difference between a streaming and non-streaming game. Aside here, it's like an streaming game. It's like I need to put a performance in a way, and let's be honest, that's what I'm doing. Not a good performance, but there you go. And when I'm playing by myself, right, it's like, yeah, it's not like I have a PC in the summer. It's like, oh, my friends haven't called me to go ride bikes or something like that, or I'm old enough to go by myself, get on a car, and get drunk on a Friday or Saturday night. It's a Wednesday afternoon. School's out, college is out. I don't have anything else to do. I don't have a job, so yeah, let's get on my 486 or something and just play this game until I beat it. Bash my brains against it. Fine. Don't feel like that anymore. I've outgrown that. And trust me, I played hard games in the past, but not anymore, right? People taste change. People taste change. Not every game is made for everybody. There's also aspect of the fact that, and this is where I think also people get pissed off because they say, oh, this is a good game because they have a good story. And it's like, yeah, but what about the gameplay? Well, the gameplay was, but a good story. I'm like, so the game in the video game was not great, correct? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say that you played a lousy game. And this gets also people offended as well because it's like, and goes to fandom and taste. It's like, but I like this, or at least I strongly identify and like an aspect of this, which makes me feel good about this, which means it must be good because if I like it, it must be good. The things I like are good because I like good things. And I like good things because they're good. You see what's happening here? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah. Around and around we go, and where we stop, nobody knows or cares. You can have lousy games. You have games that are not that great. Even games that are, people like at the time were like, yeah, this was the best game ever. And people go back and are like, yeah, Burst Sale again. Original XCOM, we were to play it. Many others are like, yeah. Maybe not. How about a soft no? You can see what people liked it back in the day, right? And might still have a following, maybe worth remastering, but it's not for you. I'm not gonna say Bard's Tale is a bad game necessarily. On its own merits, it is what it is. And in fact, Bard's Tale 2 and 3 expand on the game and they do more. And then, of course, they released Bard's Tale 4, which I might give it a trial. And then there's a remake called The Bard's Tale, which is an action RPG kind of thing, more like a Fable. But I think it's isometric, I think. I may give those games a try, just because, right? Why not? And I also have Dragon's Dogma in my queue and Steam, which I'll probably play after Ice Combat. There's no shame in playing not a great game. There's no shame in enjoying a not so great game. Just be willing to say that it's bad design, right? And I think people are just afraid that if they go like, yeah, this is bad design, it's going to reflect badly on them. And there's also another fear as well, which is always lurking in every one of these discussions, is like, if we push too hard, they're going to take our games away, right? Designers are simply going to go like, oh, you didn't want this? Okay, we're not going to make them anymore. We're going to do something else. which is it's I would call it a gaming fallacy because it implies that there's a direct correlation between criticism and game availability, right? That downvotes on a video or bad reviews or something like that do not somehow make games disappear. Oh, these, Metacritic, it got meta bomb in Metacritic, so away the game disappeared because, of course, it couldn't survive that. And there's actually absolutely no truth to that whatsoever. It's all about profit and availability. That's what it's all about. So yeah. So that's sort of a recap of this week. Well, it also this also might count as a recap for the month. Although I probably will do a monthly recap, probably the 31st or the 1st of February. Yeah. So far, So far, January is turning to be a bit disappointing and wacky and just all over the place. But I'm sure that I will settle down into a routine again, and we'll have regular streaming. I mean, I do have to admit, and this is sort of the part where I sort of begging for support. I apologize. I really feel bad about it, and that sounded very convincing. Yeah. Like, oh yeah. My computer is going through the fritz right now as well, so I need to check it in, and like I said earlier, I might have to take it into the shop, or do fix it myself, and just go with that. But yeah, it's the thing that's happening, and so if you wish to support this program, you can follow me on YouTube on the Lessons Learned. You can follow me here on the Lessons Learned 1 if you're not already doing so. You can follow, go to the chat, the Discord. Joining Discord is always good because I love people talking on the Discord. Discord. You can join us at the Discord, which that should have. Okay, that should have shown the thing. Discord. Yeah, there we are. That's the link to the Discord, and of course you can sub. A reminder for anybody who watches this on a VOD, either there and has been a subscriber. If you're a subscriber via Amazon Prime, you have to manually, if you want to, of course. I'm not holding a gun to your head or anyone else's. Want to continue to support the channel, you have to do it manually every month, which is a pain in the butt, but yeah, there you go. That's just the way things are. So thank you everybody for coming. This will be in the VODs, of course, here on Twitch and on YouTube. And that's about it. That's all I gotta say. So probably I'll do something. I always promise this and I never do it, but yeah, I'm Johnson probably do something on the weekend and do more hours as well. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye bye.